All right, I need to make a caveat. This is not his first 2-hour video, but it's the first 2-hour video that he's uploaded to his channel ever. It's the first one he's ever like greenlit that's of length 2 hours. But it's not the first 2-hour video. Are you serious? I'm making a 2-hour video for breakfast every day. I mean, that's kind of the way I mean it, though. Like, yeah, how could I not make a 2-hour video is more the question. It's amazing that I can, like, avoid 2 hours. Because, man, does time fly when I'm on the camera. This intro is already so much longer than I expected. But I can't stop. And sometimes it hurts. Sometimes it's a reprieve, for sure. But sometimes it hurts to cut content. I don't know why. It's not that good. I'm sorry if I'm so charmed with myself. I don't mean to make a brag about it. But if you're not charming yourself with your life, not to be arrogant, just if you're not having fun with yourself in your own life, that you make your own self laugh, man, we all need to do that way more. I've forgotten that for a long time. I like to make myself laugh. I like to make myself laugh at myself. Oh my gosh, that's what this whole art project is all about, really. So, yeah, sometimes I just charm myself with my stupidity. And I apologize if that rubs you the wrong way. Hey, we got to find our peace and happiness where we can. There's only one place to find it, but I got videos for that. Some of this video is about some of that. Anyway, this video is way too long. Just an introduction saying, look, it's not my first. It's not his first 2-hour video. It's just the first you've ever seen. And that's all I can really say. I don't even know if it's not because it's the best. It's really the first one that I watched for 2 hours after I made it yesterday. I watched pretty much all of it, except for like the last minute when I started writing the title of it. My first 2-hour video. So only had to cut one. I think it was 20 seconds. So yeah, it's almost 2 hours. So I had to fill it with this intro, and now we're over 2 hours, and that's what happens. And that's the charm of it, or the infuriation of it. If you infuriation with me, I can't. First of all, I'm sorry. I can't blame you, and I apologize. The only reason I can justify for it is I can't help myself. I'm not looking to help myself. And also, if you're in infuriation with me, then that's really a you problem. No offense, but it's an opportunity, though. A you problem. You problems are always this. So me problems. There are always opportunities to learn how to be equanimity with it. So if you're in infuriation with this video, then that's a pointer to you to find what's infuriation for you, because it's not me. But if I trigger you, that's all right. I apologize, but it's a good thing. It's for your growth. And that's kind of what this 2-hour video that I'm about to engage with. Well, I'm about to press engage, and you'll engage with it. But I like it, and I'm gonna post it soon. I'm gonna say goodbye to this video, and hope you enjoy the next 2 hours. All right, thanks. All right, back up on the ridge on Tuesday, June 3rd. The sky it's hazy for some reason. The humidity's getting down to the low 50%, I think. I don't know why it's not blue. It's like powder blue. The sky color. See? It's like you can see some wispy clouds here and there, but then like you can just kind of see like it's like a hazy sky. It's too bad. I mean, I don't try not to have an agenda with it, like I said yesterday and before. I try not to have an agenda with the weather. It is what it is, and I like it all. It's a little breezier up here on the ridge, but there's like almost no breeze today. It's definitely in the mid 70s, feeling like the high 70s. It's gonna get to 80. The humidity's not gonna be too bad. I think it might get down to 55% though. It's not great. Just from an objective standpoint. If you're looking for low humidity, it's objectively not great. But like I said, I'm not judging it. I'm not having a problem with it. But it's a big sweat day, I think. And it's just going to get harder for the next 2 days. I think maybe, we'll see. We'll have to see. I like to have plans, I feel like, historically. But like, plan making, I don't know. I also don't like to make plans. I don't know. I'm ambivalent about plans anymore. It's so much freer to not have any plans. I like the freedom of it. But plans give you a false sense of security, I think. Like, if you got a plan for later this afternoon, then you know what you're going to be doing. And like, so you think, right? Life happens at you. But usually, I don't know. Plans seem to bear out. Like, I'm going to the grocery store, plans, type of stuff like that. They're not that easy to disrupt, or they're harder to disrupt because they're such minimal plans. But I mean, if I need to go to the store, I'll go to the store. I don't need to make a plan about it, though. And I like that I don't make plans anymore. And I'm trying to live in a universe where I don't need to be making plans, really. Not much, not nearly as much as I thought I ever did. Which I like. Because like I said, historically I like having plans because of the false sense of security. That like, I know what I'm going to do. I know all the ducks are in a row, or whatever that is, You have to think about your life when you have plans that you know are going to take care of your life, right? But like, that's not really how it works. That's just how it seems like it works. Because I've got like a lot of no plans, and life also just seems to keep happening just like normal. Better than normal. You know what I mean? I'm standing out here in the shade because it's a UV index today. It's going to get up to 8 or 9. Tomorrow it's going to peak at 10, which is very high. 5's high. So I put on suntan lotion on my arms and on my neck, not on my face, but I'm wearing the hat today. Not right now because I'm in the shade and my scalp is all sweaty, and I don't know, does your scalp itch when it gets like wet with sweatiness? It's been itchy, and the hat makes it itchier. I wonder if I'm allergic to my own skin sometimes. I wonder. Or is it my diet? Or is it my soap? I don't know. I hope it just goes away, but it really hasn't ever gone away. The little tiny itchy bumps I get every once in a while, they're not pimples, they're not bug bites. I don't think they're bug bites. Knock on wood, right? But like, I don't have a bug problem in my house at all. Not a biting bug one. Not really any kind. Sometimes a stinko gets in there, and I let them out. But, I don't have, and I continue to be grateful to not to have bug problems. So I'm not going to keep talking about it and manifestate that to existence. A bug problem that doesn't exist. I'm not going to create it. So I don't think it's not mosquito bites. They're not like that. They're much smaller. They're like heat bumps. When you get like heat blister. But the tiny little red ones, reddish, fleshy red, not like blood red. Not like those little red blood freckles that you get in your older age. Some of you know what I'm talking about? Those blood freckles. What are those? I don't know. I'm not talking about those. They're flat. These are bumps, and they're not like that. They look like just a little bit more reddish flesh, whatever color your flesh is. They just raise above the skin a little bit, and you notice them, and I can't help it. I pick at it a little bit, and then it starts to itch, and then it itches for like a day or two. And I get more than one at a time, usually on my forearms and sometimes on my belly, sometimes on my calves. My gastrocnemius. Feeling better today. I took 2 analgesic. Well, I took 1 full dose of an analgesic today. It was 2 pills, but it was 1 dose. And my gastrocnemius is not feeling perplexed today. I didn't perplex them. They're not perplexed. Perplexed. Perplexed is a different thing. They're not perplexed. No, my gastrocnemius are never perplexed. My mind can be perplexed. complex, but not my muscles. Is your mind a muscle? Is your brain a muscle? That's the question, not really your mind. Your mind's not a muscle. Is your brain a muscle? Or is it just a bunch of fat? Or is it what is it? What's your brain made of? Muscle, I think. It's a brain muscle. I don't know, whatever. My gastric nasals are good today. And this breeze up here on this ridge is thank goodness for that. And the lower-ish humidity. Could be 65%, in which case it would be rough. But yeah, we're going to have a big sweat today. And it's potentially dangerous with the sun, so I'm going to get back in the shade. Or put my hat on, but I'm not putting my hat on, so I'm going to get back in the shade. This nice, I don't know what this is. And this is a tree, and this is a small tree or a bush. Robert the Rock Bee is not out yet. It's 1:15, 1:20. Just missed the clock. I didn't hear it when I was hiking. I must have been too focused on breathing. It's tougher to breathe when you're sweating like a sweat hog. A little bit. Like I said, my knee muses were good, so it wasn't too much of a problem getting up the big hill. One of the granddaddy hills. There's like 4 of them that I know of, I think. 1, 2, 3. That's a 4th. That's a granddaddy. I haven't walked that granddaddy this term around. I haven't done it in that's probably 9 years since I walked that granddaddy up to my dad's house. I drive it. I drive that. But I'm going to walk it one day, not today probably. I feel bad if I walk by my dad's house. I should go say hi, but I'm so out of sorts by the time I imagine anyway. By the time I climb that granddaddy, I'm not going to feel like. So, but yeah, that's the next major. That might be the granddaddy. It's not the longest, but it might be the steepest. Anyway, yeah, I didn't hear the bell toll 1. It's going to toll 2. I don't know if I'm going to be here for that. There's golfers out there. Guess you're golfing in while the getting's good. Tomorrow's going to be worse than today. Thursday's going to be worse than yet tomorrow, which is going to be way worse than today. Get out there with that. You know, you don't want to be out here from 10 to 2. And that's exactly when I'm out here. Well, sorry, mostly like 12 to 4 or 5. But like right in the middle of that sunburn alley. A 4-laner. It's 4 hours of sunburn alley. It's a 4-lane highway of sunburn. It's hard to get out of it. You gotta be in the shade. You gotta protect yourself. So that's what I'm doing by standing in the shade, talking about nothing. Now, what did I do yesterday? Oh yeah, I got HBO the other day. Just haven't had HBO in a few years. And I got it. And I started watching the True Detectives season 3. And I'm 3 episodes in. Which is just about where I stopped watching it. Turns out I think I watched the first 2 and a third episodes. And I don't know, I stopped watching it whenever it was, years ago. Excuse me. It's a pretty flower right there, just a lone, isolated flower. Can you see it? It's kind of like crimson-y pink and yellow. I don't know, is that a salmon-y? It's a little purpler than salmon, but it's not purple. It's not lavender. It's more pinker. It's Pinkerton. There's some white ones over there. There's some more Pinkertons right there. There's a yellow one. Here we go. I like wild Pinkertons. They're nice. There's a bunch over there. That's where Robert starts his day, I think, in the far cliff edge Pinkertons. He might be this might be where his residence is. This whole flat plateau is his domain, but like he doesn't live on the plateau. He lives in a hole somewhere. Maybe in that dead stump right there. I don't know. I haven't seen him. He won't come out until another 20 or 30 minutes probably. I'll at least stay here long enough to make sure he's okay. He's a studier. He's probably up all night studying his medical books. And he comes out here and pollinates the rock. And then I don't know what he does for relaxation. Robert doesn't need to relax. Roberts never need to relax. They're always relaxed. That's why they can get so much done, because they're in a constant state of relaxation. But they're intense. But like their intensity, it seems like it's intense. For them, it doesn't feel intense. But for us, going through medical school in like 3 years, doing advanced medical stuff, just being super advanced with it, a full-on professor about it. That's a Robert the Rock Bee. Look at that. That's a big Pinkerton. See those two down there? Those are way bigger. Is that what they turn into? I think they're different flowers. Those are like watercolor flowers. I don't know. They're like pastel and like very thin. They're almost diaphanous. They're butterfly flowers. They're butterfly wings. Is that what diaphanous? Butterfly wings are diaphanous, aren't they? Or is that not right? Are they effervescent? Which one's the right one? I don't think they're bubbly. They're like almost see-through, but they're really not, though. If you look at a butterfly, you can't see through its wings, can you? I don't know, I haven't been that close to a butterfly in a long time. They're diaphanous, though, I think. That's what these are, butterfly flowers. Because their petals are so big like butterfly wings, but so thin also. Not as thin as rock bee wings. You can't see right through them. If you can see them, there's constant motion in a rock bee or any kind of a bee. Those wings are always moving. Anyway, yeah, so I have to get out on a day like this. You have to get out. But it's gonna be like this all summer. This is gonna be one of the nicer days, I think. I don't know. I hope not, but I'm trying not to have that agenda. I see it creeps in. The old habits, they creep in. Look, I don't look where I don't want to go. So I'm imagining one of the most glorious summers I've ever imagined coming up ahead for me. And for everyone in northern New Jersey, I think. It's going to be extremely mild and delicious. Diaphanous. Effervescent, you're going to feel. Your mood will be effervescent because it's so not very humid. It's not too hot. The UV index doesn't get up to 10 very much. You don't burn yourself out, and you get to walk for 3-4 months. And then it starts to cool off in September, October. And then it's back to where I started from in last October. We'll go around the earth again. We'll do another 365 degrees. Why isn't 365 days and 360 degrees? Why are they not equilibrious? They should be the same. A circle is 360 degrees. The earth doesn't go around in a circle? Does it not do that? Maybe it doesn't. It's 5 degrees more. 365 degrees. It's how many days? It's 24 hours in a degree? I don't know about this. There's got to be some connection between degrees and days and like rotations. I don't have the math skills for it. That's not advanced math. That's like basic math. Even advanced basic math is still basic math. Advanced math is spirituality. See, if we started talking about calculus and like differential equations and real advanced, what's traditionally and conventionally known as advanced math, then my metaphor starts to break down. Because why would you call spirituality advanced math? I don't know why. But like, if we're going to talk about spirituality and differential equations, we got problems. Which one's the real advanced math? Everybody knows what the real one is, but I'm not going to try to change the world. I just won't ever talk about advanced math in my advanced math sermons. That's just what I have to do. It's a limitation I've imposed upon myself just for clarity, really, just to avoid confusion. And if I have because I don't know much about advanced math at all, real advanced math. So if I were to ever have a video, which is unlikely, on the subject, I would make sure and clarify that it's not an advanced math sermon. At most, it would be an advanced math speculation, which that's also potentially confusing because I also don't know a hell of a lot about spirituality advanced math. A lot of what I do is, I don't know, speculation. There's a butterfly. There's a yellow butterfly floating around down there. He's fluttering around like butterflies flutter. I don't know why they're not called flutterflies instead of butterflies. I don't see any fly butter around. I don't ever want to encounter any butter from a fly. Only cow butter for me. There he goes. He's just fluttering around. He's not buttering around. Look at him dive. Did you see that dive bomb? Probably not, but I did. Butterflies are crazy. Butterflies are like the third most, maybe after a dolphin, fourth most. Excuse me. After a blue whale, a turkey buzzard, dolphin, and butterflies. All four of them, they're like, obviously, they're top 5, the best life. They have the best life. Butterflies don't live as long as turkey buzzards, maybe. Maybe they do. They don't get eaten or hunted. Who would hunt a butterfly? Are you a butterfly hunter? Like a catcher? Nah, never. There's not enough butterflies as it is. But I don't know why they're called butterflies. They're better than flies. They could be called better flies, houseflies, and better flies. Better flies look like butterflies, but there's no butter about them. That one looked like butter, though. It had yellowy wings like butter. They flutter around. They should be called flutterflies. Anyway, if you have a spiritual animal, then you also have a spiritual butterfly name. You just don't know it yet. I discovered this just this weekend up here. And my butterfly name I thought was soars like eagle, but it soars like buzzard. That's what it is. Buzzards have a way better life than an eagle. If you think about it. Eagles got all that stuff they gotta protect, like their self-image, as the best bird and all that stuff. A lot of pressure. They won't eat just anything. An eagle won't. An eagle's got to spend a lot of energy hunting for a food that it likes. It's so particular. Buzzards, they eat whenever they're hungry, and they eat whatever they want. And it's never a problem for them, and mostly that gives them all the time in the world to just soar around the sky. Which is what I like to talk about. I can't stand still, I guess. This is where I want to be. All right. Up on this little rocky part in the shade. Yeah, butterflies are like that. If you watch the way they fly, just like you watch the way buzzards, they don't fly like buzzards. That would be creepy. That'd be like Mothra or something. They're not monsters. No, they're just regular butterflies. But the way they flutter around, looks like they don't know what they're doing. Like they're drunk or crazy. They know exactly what they're doing now. They're going where they want to go. They just go in the funnest way. They focus on having fun. So like, buzzards just soar. They're not trying to go anywhere. So they just soar around, and that's really fun. Butterflies don't soar. I mean, maybe they do. I do. That's my butterfly name, is soars like buzzard. If I was a butterfly, I'd be a soaring butterfly. But like, they got places to go, butterflies do, unlike buzzards. That's why buzzards have even better life than a butterfly. But a butterfly's got a place to go, but man, does it go there in style? I don't know if it goes there in style. It goes there in its own way. It might go left, and then it goes right, and then does a 180 and comes around here. And it might take 3 hours to get to where it's going, but it's going to have fun doing it. That's what it does. You just look at the way it flies. You can't gainsay me this. Yeah. It's doing what it wants to do. Like dolphins and blue whales. Blue whales have the most freedom. They can do whatever they want. They're so big. And they're in that giant ocean. They could swim the earth, probably. They probably swim the whole earth. I don't know if they do. They could, probably. Can you imagine being a blue whale and you just like swim all the oceans? You don't care if it's cold or warm. You like them both. You have no agenda with the ocean. You're a blue whale. Every once in a while you come up to breathe some air because you're a mammal and you got to breathe air, but you're just hanging out in the deep. You just do whatever. Cruising the Indian Ocean, then you go into the Atlantic Ocean, then you're coming over to the Pacific Ocean, then you go down to the Antarctica Ocean, and you just do whatever. It takes a couple of years, maybe. I got these houseflies are like, I don't know if they're biting flies, but they're trying to bite on me. I didn't put no sun lotion on my gastric nemiuses and calves. Maybe I should have, because it's chemically, and even though it is Neutrogena, it should be still, that's still consumer. It's not like advanced grade. I'm not paying $7,000 for my suntan lotion. I didn't pay nothing for it because my sister gave it to me, but it still smelled, it still smelled chemically. And maybe if I put that on my gastric nemiuses, these flies would stop trying to bite at them. That's what the hat's good for. I can wave them away. Anyhow, yeah, butterflies. What a life. So anyway, everybody's got a butterfly name. You should, it's, it's however. You can name it however. Mine is soars like buzzard. It doesn't sound sexy. It's not intended to be sexy. It's a butterfly name. I mean, that sounds weird. It's never going to sound sexy. It's not about that. You could have a sexy butterfly name if that's but you can't really choose it. You choose it, but you choose it from the heart. So there's an authenticity to it. It's not just some random like transformer name or something cool like XR5. That's my butterfly name is XR5. I use laser wings, and I have those Warthog fighter planes that are like just super destructive. Yeah, that's my butterfly. I am super macho destructive butterfly. XR1, is that what I said? No, you can't. I mean, you could, I guess, but I don't think that's people who would name that butterfly name XR1 really aren't even aware that there's such a thing as a butterfly name. I think they're in a deeper state of ignorance. So they think it's silly to have a butterfly name, but everybody should have one. And you got to go with your heart with it. And I don't know, I just like watching these buzzards soar. Nobody has a buzzard name. No, that's not how it works. It's always a butterfly name. You have a spirit animal and a spirit butterfly name. What's your butterfly name? As if you were a butterfly, if your spirit was a butterfly, what would it be named? That's the game. That's how you play the game. Your spirit animal, it's a totally different thing. They're related, but it's different. My spirit animal is a wolf, I think. My butterfly name is soars like buzzard, because buzzards are better than eagles, even though eagles are prettier, more gloriouser, for sure. But like the freedom, I like the freedom of a buzzard. I'm sorry if I'm starting to drool on the sides of my lips, because I'm just having a weird conniption out here. It's so hot and disorienting. It's really not that hot. I don't know what it is. It's these flies, they're trying to lay eggs in my epidermal layer. That's gross. There's a lot more rock flies. And where's Robert? I need Robert the Rockbee to make an appearance just so I can make sure he's okay and so I can get the hell out of here. These flies are killing. Or Robert, maybe he'll discipline these flies. This is his rock. It's not the rock fly's rock. It's the rock bee's rock. You don't think a rock bee could take out a rock fly? Come on. What do you think? First of all, it's at least twice as large. And he's got those crazy claws. Rock bees, they don't have stingers. They have claws. They have legs that hang down into like crazy claws. They look way oversized for that bee. I think they couldn't take care of some of these rock flies are pretty big though, I've noticed, because I noticed them on my leg. But they're still smaller than Robert. And to be honest, I think Robert's a smallish, don't let him know I said this, but I think he's on the smaller side for a rock bee. I don't know for sure. God, it smells nice up here. It's got that heat smell. When like the sun's just beating down moistureless pine trees like junipers and stuff, and like rock, I don't know, something the way the sun hits some of this green growth, and it adds like a mild, it smells like sun. That's what the sun smells like, you know what I mean? It's kind of juniper-y, kind of wild grasses-y. It's hard to describe. I don't know. I'm not very good at the nature stuff. But I love the sun so much that I just credit it as that's what the sun smells like. That smell. It smells like the sun. It smells like the sun on, beating down on some of these piney, grassy, rocky regions. It smells like that. Every once in a while you get a little gust of wind and it goes right up these windsocks. The good thing about having windsock nostrils is you can smell the good stuff. I mean, I really don't have a good sense of smell. Maybe it's coming back, but I don't know. I get a lot of oxygen through them, so that's the number one good thing. And I mean, look, I can't do nothing about it. I'm not getting nostril surgery, so I just learned to live with them. I always have. I never even considered them windsock sized until earlier this year when I thought of it, when I saw a windsock blowing in the wind, and I was like, yeah, that's about right. It's about right. But the good thing about them is you get a lot of oxygen, air, which is mostly not oxygen. It turns out there's a lot of other elements in the air besides oxygen that you need. Mostly, I think, nitrogen. I think more nitrogen than oxygen. I'm not sure. Or is that hydrogen? but sun has a smell, and that's what I'm calling it. There's quite a few golfers out. Dangerous. Hope they're all wearing long pants though. No, they're probably not. I can't even tell if they're wearing. That's how far away I am. Can't quite tell what kind of pants they're wearing. If it's short pants or long pants. That's why I think I'm like a mile away. I'm not that good at nature. I'm also not that good at distances. I'm also not that good at orienteering, despite this hat. They make orienteering compasses and things. It says on here, pay the price since 1894. I don't know what, I had that discussion yesterday in the video. I don't know what that means, pay the price. Do they want you to pay the price when you buy the compass? Of course, like everybody would expect that. You don't need to make that your motto. Do they say they want you to pay the price first when you go out orienteering without one of their compasses and you like get lost for 4 days? Is that the price you have to pay that they want you to pay? I don't understand. Pay the price. It doesn't even say paying the price since 1894. It just says pay the price. Since 1894, like they're two different sentences. And pay the price actually has a register mark. Pay the price. What's the price? I want to pay it. I'm willing to pay it. I'm more than willing to pay it. I wear your hat for free. Is that the price I'm paying? What's the price? I'm going to have to go to their website, Brunton, and see. They have like advanced looking compasses. Like they're not just like a regular Boy Scout compass. I mean, I don't know. I was never a scout, but they're not compasses that look like compasses in the 80s. They look like geothermal, you could find a radar with it or something. They're advanced. They got all kinds of measuring, all kinds of numbers. They're probably digital even. It's probably an app you get now. I want to hold one though. Excuse me, I think I swallowed a bug. I want to hold the compass that I have. I'm going to pay the price. I'm going to hold the price. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to hold the compass. I'm not paying the price for an app service. Pay the price every month for your orienteering gear. I'm not trying to make an aspersion. I'm not trying to cast an aspersion on Brunton. I don't know. They probably don't do it like that because they're good. You buy it and you own it. You pay the price and you own it. You pay the price once. That's what it means. You pay the price, not the prices. I don't know. But I like it because it's got this, it breathes in the back, and it's got this, these are not stains from my head. It's a distressed look. The hat comes brand new, looking like it's been worn by Bobert, not Robert. No, Robert doesn't wear hats. He certainly doesn't sweat. I mean, he's so relaxed. Why would he even sweat? He's got his equanimity all the way down to his cellular level. And so his mitochondria and whatnot, they don't exert any more energy than necessary, and sweating's inefficient. No, Bobert. It sounds like they would have the same name, but one stayed with Robert when he was a kid, like the Rockbee, Robert the Rockbee. He's serious about his life. And Bobert's not so much serious. And Bobert stains his hats with party juices, alcohol sweats. He stays up all night, sleeps all day. He sweats in his hat when he sleeps in it during the day. The sun's on him. Like that's a Bobert. That's what it looks like. This whole hat's dirty like Bobert's been wearing it for about 6 weeks. But that's not the case. No. I mean, maybe that's how they distress him, is they all give him the Bobert. But they're still new. When you can't buy a non-distressed Brunton hat, I think. Not one that looks like this, you can't. And the only way to get that hat like that has to be Boberted. Bobert's got to wear it and strain it and stress it out. And then you get it. But then they disinfect it, so it's not gross. I hope it's not gross. The brand that makes the hat isn't Brunton, though. That's the thing. Legacy is the brand. It says Legacy. They were established in 1992. And it was made in Taiwan ROC. So ROC. different part of Taiwan than regular Taiwan. Taiwan Rock, Republic of China. Taiwan, Republic of China. Taiwan's its own country though, right? I don't know what the political situation really is. But so Legacy out of Taiwan made the hat. They're who hire Bobert to wear the hat for 6 weeks to distress it. Then they decondition it and whatever, so it doesn't have any, it doesn't smell like Bobert's sweat and whatever. It's all hypoallergenic and stuff. And then they sell them to Brunton, who puts their patch on it. And Brunton sells them to me with a markup. Except for I got it for free, so I haven't paid the price yet. That's the thing. I gotta pay the price. So I'm waiting for that shoe to drop. You know when you gotta. It's like I'm just waiting for that price. I don't know what it is. I feel like it's more than dollars. I feel like it's a metaphor. They're talking about pay the price. What's the price? Get Brunton and pay the price. It's like no wait. I don't know how that could make any sense. Like you want to not pay the price. Like get Brunton and avoid paying the price. Like you don't have to pay the ferryman if you die with a Brunton cap, you go straight through. You don't have to pay the ferryman. You've already paid the price. You don't pay the price. Don't pay the price is what it should say. No price paid. Brunton since 1894. No price paid. I don't know. Anyway, that's a long enough excursion on that. It's 32 minutes. 33 minutes this video is about to be. It's a good number, 33. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of green stuff down there. Trees mostly, but even more than trees. Below the trees, there's even smaller trees and bushes and grasses. And a whole area is getting baked by this not even that hot of a sun. It's June 3rd. It's 3 weeks till summer almost. It's gonna get much. I don't know what it's gonna do, but it's still baking today. And the breeze coming right up the rock face at me. It smells really nice. It smells so clean up here. That's why there's all these lichens on this rock. Isn't that the truth? I don't know. Is that the price? Whenever you see lichen on trees or rocks, that's a good sign of fresh air because lichen's very sensitive to polluted air. Or is that just an urban legend? I feel like that's what I heard. I know that's what I heard. I don't know where I heard it and how reliable it is. I could look it up. I like to, Wikipedia is nice. I love my Wikipedia for sure, but I also love the mystery of not knowing things. I don't want to Google it. As if you could trust Google, which I think you can. I don't know. I hope you can. You probably can't. Not the way you would want, but still trustworthy enough. Not trying to be, a nitpicker per se. I am a nitpicker, but not trying to be one. But no, I like just not knowing. Guessing's fun. And there's acting. Look, if you got things that need to get done right, then you got to know it. But most of life there's no right way to do life. That's crazy talk. If you ever think that, then you need to rethink. That's what your priority should be, is rethinking life. You don't know what it is, but you got the wrong view. There's definitely a wrong way to live life, for sure. But there's no right way. Which begs the question, what would be the wrong way? Living as if there was a right way. That's the only wrong way to live. And you got to rethink. You can live life any way you want, as long as you're not hurting other people. Which nobody who wants to live their life the way they want to live it is hurting other people. Not really. People who hurt other people are people who aren't living their life the right way, which is to say any way but the wrong way. They're living it the wrong way because they're confused. And I just finished saying it's okay to be confused, except for if you're hurting people, or if if you got to do something the right way, then you should follow the instructions. If you can trust them, which you should be able to trust any instructions that are laid out. There shouldn't be instructions that you can't trust. If you don't know what your instructions are, then don't write them. You know what I mean? I'm not writing instruction manuals out here. I know I don't know what I'm talking about, so I'm not trying to instruct anybody on anything. If I do, it's purely within the construct of a speculation. So you take it with a grain of salt, or two. I advise 2 grains of salt. But that doesn't mean that's my whole side point here is there's no right way to live life. And so you don't need to know much of anything, really. You don't need to know much of anything. And what you do need to know, you don't need Google for that. Or Wikipedia. Just your own internal, what do you call it? Intuition. Ignition. You know, that stuff. That'll take care of it. For the most part, I think. Oh, I like this view. I just moved like 20 feet. I never hung out under this nice tree. Look at all the lichen on it. And then look at this whole thing. It's covered with moss and lichen and these little white flowers. But in this view, it's the same view, but it's just from a different angle, slightly. I like it though. I like it a lot. That's where the brothers and the mothers, the mother buzzards, them other buzzards, no, the mother buzzards, the mothers buzzards bathe. You see that? There's a tiny bit of a little thing with water. They bathe and drink there. I'm gonna leave it alone because, you know, buzzards have a carefree life, but they still need liquid. They need water like anybody else. And on a day like today, I mean, there's a giant lake down there, but I don't know if that's as good as that little rock pond. It's probably gross with mosquitoes. But buzzards don't care. They eat dead things. They'll drink mosquitoes. You serious? That's what I'm saying. Like, being a buzzard, look, I wouldn't want to be a human drinking mosquitoes or eating dead things. I mean, not fresh dead. I mean, not that fresh dead. But if I was a buzzard, I wouldn't care. So that's what you get when you get to be a buzzard. Yeah, you have to drink mosquito water, but you don't care, and it doesn't bother you. Like, it doesn't bother your body, and it doesn't bother your mind. You don't care. It doesn't. But that's part of being a buzzard. If you were a human drinking buzzard water, you have to be pretty equanimity in order to not care about drinking mosquito water. Which, you know, I'm sure there are circumstances where you would be grateful to be drinking mosquito water just like them buzzards are. But for them buzzards, it's mostly every day of their life. But unless you're Bear Grylls or something, like, it's hopefully not ever in your life that you have to be grateful for drinking mosquito water. That's just a human thing. But I'll leave that up to you. There's no right way to live your life. There's only a wrong way. And there's really only one wrong way. It's related. And that's trying to live your life some version of a right way. If you're doing that, then that's your sign that you're doing it wrong. That's all. Everything else is fair game. But if you're trying to follow some sort of instructions for your life, I don't know. Maybe that's not even wrong. Maybe there is no wrong way to live your life, but there's certainly no right way to live. There's good ways to live, though. And you got to figure that out for yourself. That's the freedom of it. It should be a delightful freedom, not a stressful one, but why does it feel so stressful so many times? Now that I put my hat on, I'm going to sit out here on the sun. Still haven't seen Robert. Maybe Robert's got more than one rock face. Or, I don't know. I don't know Robert well enough to know his schedule. I hope I didn't accidentally step on him. I don't think he would ever let that happen. The closer you look, even with these eyes that I have, which are not very good ones. I mean, I love them. I love my eyes, but they don't see as clearly as they used to see. Even with that fact being the truth. If I slow down and just kind of look at some of this stuff on the ground here, I can see other things that you might cursorily overlook, like other bugs that aren't traditional rock flies and rock bees, and the green beetle that I saw yesterday, which I'd seen before, and the they call them no-see-ums, but you absolutely can see them. If you couldn't see them, it wouldn't be a problem, but you can see them. They should call them see-ums. The tiny little black flies that fly in front of your face when it's humid. Those aren't my favorite fans. I don't love them the most. I gotta say, I'm working on it. I'm working on my not having an agenda with nature, living like flora and fauna. Bugs? Are bugs fauna? Flora, fauna, and bugs. Try not to have an agenda with bugs. There's a lot of habits, habituated behaviors and thoughts that I have to work through, though, to get to that point of liberation from having a judgment about a bug experience. Because, traditionally I do not like bug experiences, really, of any kind. Certainly not the no-see-em bugs flitting about my face while I'm walking, trying to fly into my mouth while I'm breathing, and all kinds of others that I'm not even going to think about because I don't look where I don't want to go. Why do I want to look where I don't want to go? I don't need to look there. But yeah, I'm trying to be equanimity with it and just, hey, mostly I don't have a bug problem because bugs don't bother me, but I'm trying to never have a bug problem because I don't have a problematic relationship with bugs or nature at all. So whatever experience, bug or otherwise, I would be having in nature, it's never a problem. So then I don't have a bug problem anymore because I don't have any problems in nature, right? Like that's where I'm trying to get with it. Mostly, there's not much trying involved, I'll tell you. It just kind of happens. I just stay open and stupid, I guess, just kind of stupid. I look and kind of feel like I'm stupid. Like I just don't. Got that shit-eating grin on my face walking around, stomping around this development, these streets, like an idiot. That's the way it is, though. I'm just a stupid idiot having a good time of his life. And yet I find a lot of agendas just don't even occur. Maybe I'm just too stupid to have an agenda, or I'm too wise. I don't know. I'm not trying to make a brag or an aggrandizement. I'm not trying to make myself into a thing, wise or stupid or otherwise. Wise or otherwise. The otherwise would be stupid. Wise or otherwise. I'm probably closer to the otherwise. But, yeah. I don't really have nearly as many judgments about my experience as I used to have. Bug experiences or any kind of weather experiences. I don't have an agenda with the weather anymore, right? Boredom experiences. I don't really have an experience of boredom much at all anymore. I don't have a problem if I do have nothing to do. I kind of like having nothing to do. There's a black butterfly. I couldn't tell. He knows where he's going. That's for sure. He flies like this, he's having fun. He likes to go up and down, but he's got to get home, or he's got to go to the store. His wife's pregnant and needs them pickles, so he's got to go. So he doesn't have time to do the whole circle-y, like that yellow butterfly was doing before. That yellow butterfly they're unrelated. That's not his wife. I don't think black and yellow butterflies are related. They're two different species. They're both butterflies. They both make butter for flies. I don't know why they're called that. I don't think they're making any butter. I'm not drinking it or eating it. Like I said, I only like cow butter. I don't like any insect butters. So, no fly butter for me. But anyway, yeah, that was a cool butterfly. But, yeah, I don't have much agendas with nothing. I don't know if that's wise or otherwise, I don't know. I feel like it might be wise. It's what the wisdoms are saying. And I'm trying to practice that, but it's so easy now. I'm not trying to make a brag about it, like I said. But, yeah, it's easy when, you don't have a lot of triggers. I probably have a bunch of hidden triggers that I'm just not being triggered by these days. Maybe not. Maybe I don't. I'm not looking where I don't want to go, but I'm not trying to be a fool about it either. I'm not trying to be an otherwise. And just no, if I need to go somewhere, I like to look. I'm not trying to ignore anything or repress anything. every once in a while, I get the smell of the sun in my nose. It smells so good. That's the one thing you can't appreciate, is the tactility, tactilness of being out. When you watch a video, you're just watching me, but I'm out here and I can feel the temperature of the sun on my skin is what I'm saying, the tact. I can feel the hard rocks under my shoes. I can feel the breeze between my legs, between my ankles. How do you say that? On my arms, on my skin. I can feel the breeze going by my skin, right? And I can smell stuff. And also hear stuff. You can hear stuff too. But I can hear stuff that you can't hear, like the very faint birds behind me, probably 600 yards back, but they're loud as hell out there. But over here, I don't know. Or they're just quiet and they're pretty close by. Right? Like there's a certain, you also don't get bit by mosquitoes and biting flies, which is, could be a nice thing. I don't generally want that. You also can only see me, and I can see everything, including me. So I get a better vision. That's what I'm saying. So you should get outside for sure. After this video's over, you should get outside for a long walk, the longest you can stand. Because as I was saying yesterday towards the end of my call, the longer you can walk, the clearer your mind gets. The freer of agendas, for example. The more wise, the less other wise you get. The more wise. Wisdom and other wisdom. It doesn't quite sound quite the way I want it to. Yeah. Anyway, just every once in a while you just get a breeze and you just get a sun scent. I call it the smell of the sun scent. And I know it's really the sun on some of these, but I don't know which ones, so I just call it the sun. It wouldn't be interacting like this without the sun. Without the sun, we'd all be dead. So, everything's really from the sun. So I'm not wrong. But I realize that the scent isn't coming directly from outer space. It's coming from these sun-touched grasses and greens. I don't know which ones. I feel like it's not totally juniper. That I know what that smells like. When the sun hits a juniper bush in Albuquerque, New Mexico, you know it. You love it. And it's strong. And it just saturates the air for like cubic meters around. It's wonderful. And there's so much of it, so it's like oh yeah. But I know what that smells like. That's a great smell. That's not what this is. This is more like a sage grass type of smell. If I could imagine what sage smells like, I can't remember. It's just a very light, dry sun smell. It smells like the sun's out. That's why I call it a sun scent, I think. I don't know. Now, the question is, where do I walk? I think I'm going to do yesterday I ended up walking the whole block. I walked the whole rim, all the way around. Yeah, I did. I didn't think I would, but I did. Today, I don't think I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna walk just the back half, and I'm not gonna go to one of my favoriteest places, but there's so many. I think I have like 5 or 6 different favorite streets. There he is. There's Robert. There he is. He's over here playing with these Pinkertons. Right there. There he is. Hello, Robert. He's a pretty small one. That might be Roberta, his sister, who's also a hard studier. She's also going to medical school. She's a year younger. She seems like a year shorter, smaller, tinier. She went on the other side of that. She's probably going to tell her brother that Deckard's out here calling for him. She's like, Robert, your friend's here. You're running late today, Robert, she says. She's even more responsible and seriouser than Robert. That's her. Yeah, she seems smaller than Robert. Plus, Robert's usually hanging out on the rocks. He does start in the flowers, though. So it could be Robert, and I could be wrong. It's definitely a rock bee. he wasn't pollinating that flower. Rock bees don't pollinate flowers. They pollinate the rocks. No, he was just smelling the roses, if you will. They just have Pinkertons up here and some other flowers, diaphanous daisies or whatever, that bigger leafed Pinkertons. When they get really gigantic, they become a different species. And there's some yellow ones and white ones. Yeah, rock bees don't pollinate those flowers. I don't know what does, but not rock bees. They smell the flowers of it. Look, Robert and his sister Roberta, the rock bees in general, are very serious bees, but that doesn't mean they don't live a great life of smelling flowers and taking it easy. Roberts and Robertas are naturally always easy, and that's how come they can do such stressful, crazy, amazing things, because they're never out of sorts. They're gifted with that type of brain that could like become like a professor of like emergency surgery in like 2/3 of the years it takes to do it, and never even lose their hair, you know, or get gray or just ever get stressed out. They solve problems with equanimity. Yeah, it's just the nature of the brain that they were born with. Roberts. If otherwise you're a Rob or a Robbie or a Bobby or a Bob, you know what I mean? Those guys are different. They have different brains. But if you're a Robert, trust me, I've known at least two I can think of right now. They're both doctors. Yeah, so that's why it's Robert the Rock Bee, not Robbie. It's not Robbie the Rock. There's no Robbie rock bees. You could be Robbie the Bumblebee. It's probably more appropriate. But if you're a rock bee, look, you pollinate rocks. You're the only bees who even do that. What? That sounds like a waste of time, right? Yeah, well, the Roberts of the world see it different, and the Robertas. The Robbies don't. They don't know. They don't even know what a rock bee even is. They're bumblebees or stinger bees or whatever. It could be a wasp. It could be anything, but you're not going to be a rock bee. If you're going to be a rock bee, you're going to be a Robert or a Roberta. That's just the nature of the rock bee mind. How do they tell each other apart? They have butterfly names for that. All the males are called Robert because they have the Robert mind. And all the females are called Roberta because they have the Roberta mind. Which is they're very serious, but they're very capable, extremely capable, but extremely unflappable. Yeah, but they're always serious, but they're not too serious. You know, they're not like, that guy should be lighting up. Roberts never need to lighten up. They're always light. Not that they're always joking. They're rarely joking, but inside they're always light. They love what they do. They love being serious. They're so good at it. Roberts and Robertas. I'm not like that. I like being the opposite. I like being a Bobert. My name's Deckard, but like, it's certainly not Robert. I like to have fun. Not that Roberts and Robertas don't have fun in their own way, but like, I like more traditional fun. I like having nothing that I need to do. I don't want to go study medicine, that's for sure. Let alone teach studying medicine. I like, at least if you study medicine, you can get out of studying when you graduate or you fail out. But if you teach studying medicine, you're always around medicine study. If you're not studying it, you're probably always studying it too. Teachers are the most propitious, is that the right word? Students, the most voracious. They're always learning. They're the ones who are always learning. The teachers are the ones who are the students don't always learn, but teachers do. Teachers are the ones that always learn. I mean, I like to learn, but no, that's not true. I'm making a completely opposite point because I love school. But I like to learn at my own whimsy. I don't want to learn. I don't like to, per se, have to learn. You know? I don't know. Traditional learning, book learning. I like learning learning the spirituality of being, though. But that's different. I don't have to read a book. I like to read the books, though, but like, I can just also just come out here and be it. Or I can even just be it at home, too. I don't even have to come out here. But yeah, I like it. I like that part of it. But yeah, I don't want to be doing homework all day. That's what I'm saying. There was a time and a place for homework, and I loved it for most of it. Not in the very beginning, but then I came to love doing homework. And then I just managed it. I didn't ever hate it until that started to change. When homework became like all work. You don't have any class anymore. You have to teach the class. So now you have to write the class. So you have to go home and work on writing up 20 lectures. Yeah, I don't want to do that anymore. Right? I didn't want to do that. Oh, it smells so nice. I did that once. That was enough. I'd rather do this where I can just speculate and I don't have to do any homework to be able to talk what I'm saying. Of course, and nobody has to watch it or do anything with it, which is pretty much exactly the case. So, but that's okay. I try not to have an agenda with my channel, of course. I don't have an agenda with nature. I don't have an agenda with the weather. I try not to have an agenda with my channel. I make videos, I post videos. I hope they're helpful. If I do need to have a secondary channel with an agenda, that's maybe part of my struggle right now. If you could say struggle, that's part of what I'm trying to come to terms with. Is there anything I need to be doing? I like not having anything. It's a ladybird beetle. I like not having to have any plans, but is that going to have to change from prudence sake? Or am I going to just be able to coast into this early retirement like I'm trying to do without ever having to do a finger lift again? Not even a single finger lift towards that. I don't know. I mean, why not? Why not live in that universe? I mean, the universe I live in is the one that I project from myself. So why not just believe that that's the case? It's not about falsehoods and truths with capital or with lowercase f's and t's. It's really just about the capital truth, which is everything I experience through my mind. My mind does all kinds of finaglingness to align with things and to see and show me what I expect to see, because it can't show me everything that's happening. That's too confusing. Look into your brain science, scientific studies, if you didn't believe the spirituality of it, which has been saying this for thousands of years. But look at the neuroscience of it. Yeah. The brain has to choose and make choices way prior to your conscious awareness about what you see, about what you smell, what you hear, what's going on, what your world interacts with, like what your world is that you interact with. That whole situation is coming from whatever, your brain, your mind. It makes decisions on your behalf. You can learn to change the decisions it makes on your behalf. That's what I'm saying. That's what other people say. It sounds good though. That is Robert. Oh yeah. I don't know if that's Robert and Roberta. That's Robert. And there's another one though. I don't know if that's Roberta. They're playing like brother and sister will play. So, yeah, there he is. There's Robert. He said, get out of here, Deckard. You're in the sun. It's way hotter. I can feel it. We're region having a sunstroke. This is how I got a relationship with Robert the Rockby in the first place. He warned me away of sunstroke that was on its way, because I was just talking without a hat in the sun for 45 minutes without any awareness. All of a sudden, Robert started dive bombing me out of nowhere. I've been sitting with him for 45 minutes. He was doing his thing, I was doing my thing, and then he starts dive bombing me. I got up out of respect for Robert's plateau. Maybe I'm, he needs to get busy over here on this big rock I'm sitting on. It turns out, no, he went back to doing what he was doing, as if nothing ever happened. But I'm sitting here in the shade now thinking, oh, yeah, maybe Robert's looking out for me. Or nature is looking out for me through Robert, or the universe is looking out for me through nature on Earth through Robert, the Rockby, to get me out of a sunstroke situation that I didn't want to have out here, kind of in the middle of nowhere, but kind of not, right? But I mean, like, it'd take me half an hour to walk home with a sunstroke. I don't know if I make that. I don't have to worry about it because of Robert. So that's how the relationship developed. I don't know if he saved my life. He saved the sunstroke potential, for sure. I don't know if it was going to happen, but we didn't have to find out, thanks to Robert. That's what I'm saying. That's gratitude right there. So, every time I come up here, I look for Robert the Rockbee. Today I met his sister, Roberta. And I wasn't wrong, because I saw both of them. To be honest, I'm not sure if that second one was Roberta, but that first one was Robert. It was much bigger than Roberta, from what I remember over there on the Pinkerton like 10 minutes ago. The Pinkerton flower, that I thought it was Robert, but that's Roberta. He has a sister named Roberta. Or a smaller brother named Roberta. I don't know. I don't know the sex of rock bees. I'm just for characterological definition. Narratological coherence to a degree. There's not much coherence to this video, but the degree which there is, for those degrees that I thought I would characterize Robert's sister. Could be his young brother. Could be a stranger. I mean, they might not even be named Robert, to be honest. They might not even be called rock bees, right? That's how deep I go with the narrative. I take it all the way, and then I stop. And at that drawing line, I stop. Whatever it is, it's arbitrary. And then I do what I do. Right? Like, I'll take the backstory to a certain point that suits the overall narrative, as confusing as it is, as ambling and all over the place as it is. And then I won't cross that line. It's like a river in the sand. You can't cross that river without a bridge. I'm not a bridge builder. I mean, I don't know if I am. I could be, maybe. I don't know. I'm not trying to negotiate with people and build bridges, bridge builders. I'm not trying to bridge builders or other people. I'm not trying to bridge that gap. So yeah, if there's a river in the sand, I don't cross it. So yeah, we start with the idea of a rock bee. We name it Robert. Robert sounds right. And then we create a whole narrative about what a Robert is. It's a mindset. And today we discovered a sister. But then that's it. We're not crossing the line anymore beyond that. I'm not getting into the family part of it. It's going to stay pretty much there. That's the river. Roberta. The river Roberta. Roberta the rock bee is my river. I'm not going into any more depth with the narrative structure of my Robert the Rockbee story. That's what I'm saying. I go so far. I'm all in until we get to the river, wherever that river is. It's arbitrary. It's my desert of sand. It's like the white canvas of a blank slate. And then I put a river in it and I don't cross it. I don't know. Why not? I think that makes sense. Otherwise, you could go forever. I can go. If I don't circumscribe my videos, I could just be making like a 7-week long video. It's just all, how many hours is 7 weeks? That's 24 times 7 times 7. 24 times 49. I can't do that math in my head. It's 2,400 divided by 2. It's 1,200 hours. Minus like 24 hours. Is that really? It seems like it would be more than that. It's about 1,200 hours in 7 weeks. Right? 24 hours in a day, 7 days in a week, 7 weeks in a 7-week period. That's 49 weeks. 49 times 2 is 98. It's 100. So 24 times 100 is a lot easier than 24 times 49. So 2,400 hours in 7 weeks. No. And that would be in 14 weeks or something, or 16. So then you divide by 2 to get to 50, which is 1,200. And then 50, you got 49 though. Yeah, so you subtract 24. So 1,200 minus 24 hours. So 1,176 hours. That's how long this video would be if I didn't circumscribe it. Not simply by pressing stop, but also like, because I could continue making a video without a camera. It wouldn't be called a video, but the experience for me would be almost the exact same. And I just keep talking. Okay, so that's almost the exact same as a video. Even when I'm not recording, I'm making a video whenever I'm talking out loud. But then I do talk out loud a lot by myself, like I'm doing right now, but without a camera. But also I could just start talking to myself in my head, not even out loud. And then the video just keeps going and going and going and going, right? Like, and then the only thing is falling asleep. That's not the way my life works. Thank goodness. But it used to kind of work like that. I used to always be making a video of my life in my head to myself without knowing it. Just constantly talking to myself. Or whatever that experience is. Thoughts that claim a me as a self, that claim itself as a self, that claim to identify itself as a self, talking to itself. It's like, is that what's really going on? It feels like it at first, but once you look closer, it's not what's really going on. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just looking at Robert. I just saw him land on the rock. He is a rock bee after all. He does fly almost all the time, but not all the time. Just most of all the time. And when he lands, he just it's like he just fell from like 3 feet. Like for him, 3 feet would be like he just lands on all fours, clunk. He just went clunk. He didn't come in for a nice smooth bird landing. No, he just clunked onto the ground, and then he was on the ground. And then he jumped off and flew again. Rock bees, they're either on the ground or they're in the air, right? I mean, they're not in the midst of going from the air to the ground. Never. They're either in the air or they're on the ground. Like a bird is in the air, on the ground, or in between. Right? When it's landing and taking off, it's in between. It's technically in the air, but it's like coming in for a landing. Rock bees don't come in for landings. They're just on the ground. The way he just crashed, he didn't crash. He just it's like he just was dropped from like a foot. He just landed like the Hulk doing a jump. That's what I'm trying to describe. Rock bees, I think they have a lot more mass than you might expect. I think he's a heavy bee. That's also why they're called rock bees. They pollinate rocks because they have an affinity for rocks. Why? Because they're made of rock? No, you would think. No, it's because they weigh as heavy as a rock. If you were to pick up a rock bee, let's say Robert lets you pick him up, which he probably wouldn't. I wouldn't. But, me and Robert we'll come into a bit of an understanding, so maybe one day I could pick him up and I could verify this, that he would weigh like a heavy little stone of the same size. Most bees, if you pick up, you can't even feel it. You feel it sting you, but you don't feel its weight on you. Robert? That's why a headbutt from Robert, that's why them claws are deceptive. They're not dangerous. It's just the way he threatens his predators. No, he headbutts you. He flies right into you with his head because he weighs way more than he should weigh. I mean, it's nature, so it weighs what he should weigh, but like way more than you would think. And you get a headbutt in the chest from a rock bee, you know it. It's like, damn. It could knock the wind out of you if it hit it right, and if he was trying hard enough, and if it was one of the bigger ones. Robert's still growing, I think. He's going to medical school, but he's a prodigy. All Roberts are. And so he's young for his age. So he's small for his position. So I think he might have some more growing to do. I mean, yeah. You ever seen them carpenter bees? They're not the same thing as rock bees. They go in and they eat wood. They eat perfectly round holes that they live in. They eat the wood. They also don't sting you. They're bigger than rock bees, but not by a lot. But there's all kinds of bees is what I'm saying. Those bees do all kinds of just do crazy stuff. They're putting holes in my deck. I mean, what am I going to do about it? Kill them? I thought about it. Trust me, I thought about going out there with like a handball racket. That tight nylon netting that's just tight enough to smack a carpenter bee into its component parts. It doesn't stay together when you hit it hard enough. It breaks apart. It's like, that's pretty cruel though. It's like, I'm not that kid anymore. I don't know if I ever did that. I probably did once or twice, but not for fun, like a tortury kid who likes to torture bees. But, bugs are annoying. Get away from me. Plus, I don't know if you're going to sting me. I was a kid. I don't remember. But I thought about going out there and, but what else? What aside from that, what could I do to get these carpenter bees out from my deck, which I never go to my deck? It's ironic, and I'm going to have to change. My deck has never been lived on. I almost never go. I've been here for 15 years. I almost never go out there. I don't go out there once a year. My deck. It's not very big. But like, I could go out there and put plants on it and like make it pretty. And yeah, it's not as private as this, but like it still could be nice if I put any kind of effort into it. But now I got that carpenter bee problem. What am I gonna do? I'm not gonna kill them. I mean, they're out there using the deck at least, right? I'm not even using it, so like, might as well be their home, which it is their home. I mean, they're digging homes in the beams, perfectly round circles. Yeah, a little bit bigger than a rock bee, carpenter bees. Yeah, so maybe there's a plant I could put in that's a pleasant, not a stinker smell, but a pleasant smell, but that the rock bees don't like, or excuse me, I wouldn't mind having a rock bee. I don't even mind the carpenter bees. Just don't dig holes. And you know what? It's like, here's how you come to equanimity with the carpenter bee. Digging holes in your deck. First of all, you realize you don't have a problem with the carpenter bee. You only have a problem with the hole. Right? You wouldn't particularly like it, but they're not coming to, they do hang out, and they do funny, they're bold bees. And they headbutt my windows all the time. They're trying to get in at me. So I'm not sure, but first of all, you realize that you don't have a problem with the bug. You have a problem with the interaction with the bug with something in your life, primarily your deck at this point. It could be your body, though, if it was stinging it or biting it, in which case you defend yourself. And then all bets are off. Then you can kill that bee. If it's coming at you, maybe they would, but like, you got to be careful, though. Maybe it really isn't, right? Right. It's like, okay, so I don't really have a problem with these carpenter bees per se. It's their carpentering. I don't like those holes they're digging in my deck, really, though. But like, why not? It's kind of cool. True. It is very cool, actually. Yeah, I don't have a problem with what they're doing. The only problem then is, how many of them can you stand? Like, are we talking like 2 or 3? But they're making homes and they're having babies, and now we got like 20 or 30. That's a different experience, probably, right? Unless it's not. I don't know. That's how life is, though. Like, I could imagine a nightmare scenario for myself on my deck with 30 carpenter bees, and I just never did nothing. Live and let live, but like, I just can't get over I don't like it, and I can't get over the not liking it part of it. I just never liked it. I can think about that, but that's not what's happening right now. And to be honest, I don't know if I'm ever going to go on that deck again anyway. So like, these are problems of imagination that don't even exist, right? I don't have a problem with carpenter bees, it turns out. I just have thoughts sometimes that indicate, I have thoughts about a problem about them. That's what it is. They don't indicate a problem. They're just a thought about a problem. Like, it's a thought that posits a problem. But that still doesn't mean that it's anything other than a thought about a problem. It's not a problem. The thought about a problem isn't the problem. You see how this works? Like, this is what I'm coming to experience. Like, yeah, you got to take it pretty literal. I find happiness it's a very simple, relatively easy thing to get, but like, it's so overlooked. It's so easy to overlook because people think it's got to be so. It's nothing is what it is. It's the nothing. And when you can just be in your moment, that's where you find your happiness. You just got to do that all the time, right? But who's doing anything though, right? It doesn't really feel like an effort. It feels like the letting go of effort. If that feels like a thing, it feels like the unclenching of a fist. You have a fist clenched, you don't know it, just clenched all day. You're used to the tension. That's your normal. When you don't work to untense your fist though, do you? Right? You just stop what you were doing. You don't do an unclenching. You just stop the clenching. Right? That's why unclenching is like, that's why language is confusing. It makes it seem like you got to do something. Unclench your fist. The unclenching of a fist isn't an activity of unclenching. It's an activity of, it's the ceasing of an activity of clenching. That's what happiness is. Happiness is just always there. You're just clenched up over it all the time. We all are. Until we learn otherwise. You don't go creating happiness. You just let everything that's unhappiness, which is unrealness, coincidentally enough, just fall away. And the hand of happiness lies unclenched before thee, right? That's what it is. And then you get lost in thought again, right? But eventually, you stop getting lost in thought so quickly. And the duration of these unclenching hands of happiness, these unclenched, rather, hands of happiness, the duration of their unclenchedness increases, lasts longer. And then you start to learn things about your unclenched hand of happiness. Like you start to learn its qualities, as little as they are, but as delightful as they are. You start to just loosen up, lighten up. Next time a clenching experience happens, you find you clench less hard. You clench less often. You clench for less longer. Right? You stay unclenched, which is your natural state. And walk around like there's a reason it's a fist that you punch somebody. You clench. It's like your whole attitude towards life is aggressive, manipulative, confused. Oh, it's just confused. Those people aren't happy. Clenches aren't happy. You can't be happy and be clenched. I mean, except for the truth is, actually you can't, because you're always happy, because it's always a hand. It's not the unclenched hand that's happiness. Silly me. It's the whole hand is happiness, clenched or otherwise. It's always happiness. It's just when it's clenched, it feels like unhappiness. But like, there's only one thing here. What's that, Deckard? The hand of happiness is the only thing that's here. It's not any other thing. It's never been anything other than the hand of happiness. It's just that, sometimes it's harder to recognize the happiness part of that hand when you're so clenched up and and that's our normal state. I don't mean like our natural state. I mean like that's our conditioned state as being a normal human. It seems like you're born and you get clenched up. And then, it's a self-sustaining system that keeps you clenched. You keep yourself clenched, I guess. You keep yourself clenched. But the world offers all kinds. Well, the world is neutral, so it offers all kinds of clenching opportunities, and also always, every moment, there's unclenching opportunities. 100%. That's where I live. I'm pretty unclenched. I don't even think my sphincter is clenched anymore. Let me check. All right, I'm good. It's my chakra, the root chakra. It's your sphincter, right? At some point, it's got to stay a certain level of clenched, unless you're cleansed. I haven't been cleansed. I don't know if I've ever been cleansed, you know what I mean? So there's probably always something going on up in there. So we like to have a clenched sphincter, but that's the only thing that's clenched in my life is my sphincter. Except for when that's unclenched, but I have very specific rituals for that. Mostly going to the bathroom, which everybody understands, a water closet, right? I don't have dramatic rituals. They're not unfamiliar ones. I just call it a ritual out of respect for the whole process here. But that's the only thing that's ever clenched these days is my sphincter, because my hands aren't clenched. My jaw is never clenched. I clench my jaw I'm not a teeth grinder, but it's a separate thing. It's not from tension, I don't think. I just bite hard. I don't clench my jaw very much anymore. That whole action felt less familiar than it used to be. I don't have clenching thoughts. Not for the most part. That's my biggest try. That's most people, right? Like clenching anxiety thoughts that clench you up. What about tomorrow? What are you going to do tomorrow? Oh, it's like, man, if it's gotten to the point where you got to worry about tomorrow, man, that's probably a blessing in disguise, bro. Because, let me bro you, okay? Let me just bro you for a second. If you got to get something done tomorrow at this point, unless it's like something that takes like 5 minutes to prepare for, but like a thing that you should have done last month, and it's like, shit, procrastination galore, that guy. I've been that guy. Wrote my entire, what would that be, 17th grade seminar thesis over Thanksgiving vacation weekend in graduate school. Everybody else took 3 months to write it. I wrote it in like 6 days. I got an A on it. It was the basis of my whole professional dissertation topic. That it turned out like I didn't know what it was. I had some ideas. I did have some ideas. I don't remember when I got those ideas, to be honest. Domesticating the trenches, World War I, and the domestication that took place of the soldiers in the trenches in World War I. I don't know. Nobody had ever. I don't know. I thought it was kind of fun. And luckily I found enough evidence to make a 30-page thesis. Yeah, I got clenched up for that. Sometimes clenching maybe helps you perform. I don't know. I don't like the energy of it. So, yeah, I know what it's like to procrastinate. But if you got a situation where, like, you just can't deal with your situation, whatever that is, I dealt with it, I guess. Not very efficiently, but maybe super efficiently, except for I didn't agonize for 3 months. I mostly just partied around for 3 months, and then I did my work in the week that it took to do the work. But I didn't have such an equanimity approach to it. But that's basically, yeah, now I do. But if you can't get to that approach right now, and I got that thing that's due tomorrow, you just gotta surrender to it. Right? And that's what procrastination is. You avoid it until you can't avoid it no more. You just surrender. And sometimes a surrender looks like a doing. You do your homework. You do the dishes. Or you threw them out and you bought new dishes. But, like you took care of that kitchen. Or whatever, right? But, like, think about that feeling of that moment of surrendering to, like, look, man, I'm going to stop stressing about this assignment tomorrow or meeting tomorrow. It's going to be what it's going to be. And that's damn right it is. That's always what it was, always ever only going to be what it was going to be, whatever that is. Realize you have no idea. You can have some ideas, but, like, those ideas don't have necessarily anything to do with anything, right? Why don't you just stop spending time having ideas about your future? That's the one thing you never tried. How's that happiness journey going for you, by the way? Right? Well, try the one thing you never try. There's a person out there with a dog. It's okay, though. I don't like to be disruptive, but I'm going to make a video, so what am I going to say? Not talk? I'm going to talk. But, yeah, you just got to surrender. And let go of control. And try that. And see what tomorrow brings. Because tomorrow's going to bring something. And don't be negligent, right? Like, don't be intentionally negligent. I'm talking about self-care stuff here. I'm not talking about ditching school. Unless that's a well-thought-out strategy for self-care. But you know what I mean? I'm not trying to be irresponsible here. What's that called? It's a straw man here. The irresponsibility. Well, then, if you don't discipline yourself, then you're being irresponsible because what? Because shit won't get done? Shit does get done, though. Try it. Don't you? Okay? You're not sold to do that your whole life? I'm not sold to do it my whole life. I'm working on doing it because I believe in it. But, like, try it on something, pretty simple. It doesn't have really it's got to have some sort of repercussion, but nothing real. Try it. Will it get done? Did it need to get done? If it didn't get done, is it okay that it didn't get done? Or did it get done? But, like, you don't need to have an agenda. You don't have to have a bunch of theories and thoughts. Least of all anxieties and worries about it. Now you got to unclench. When you unclench yourself. Because I think what it turns out is I'm not sure the degree to which we're actually, what degree we're in control of our experience. Right? Certainly not what comes at us, right? I mean, unless it's, again, this manifestation thing. But, like, the way the world manifests is subconsciously under our control, I guess, maybe. Like, with this whole theory of, hello, Roberta. Unless that's Robert. Robert, did you shrink? No, that's got to be Roberta. All right. I'm just moving around. Get out of the sun, she says. Get out of the sun. you know, I don't know how much control we really have. But yeah, again, maybe that's just because it's subconscious. We have all the control, but it's subconscious, so we're not in conscious control of it. But you can come to conscious control of your life, but not through effort and clenching. No, it doesn't work that way. The only way it works is the only way you would want it to work, which is, of course, brilliant when you talk about perfection, and that is, it works with happiness and effortlessness. Which is, if you wanted to get something done, wouldn't that be the way you would want it to be done, like the easy way? Like, I don't even want to do this, but if I have to do it, like I want the easy way, yes. Well, it's so easy, you actually want to do it. That's how life works. You know, you don't have to take control of your life. You can't. Take control of your subconscious. Yeah, the way you take control of your life is by becoming sensitive to your subconscious thoughts. Yeah, the things that are happening around you that you don't realize are under your control, but your subconscious control. And you stop having an agenda with everything. You start to get in alignment with, like, I don't know what. It's just stillness, yourself. I'm not sure what I'm trying to align to. If it's an infinite potential over there, and I don't know what I want, and I can't even see it anyway. I just see a hill with trees, which is a nice hill. But like, if my brain sees like just like frequency waves, and it just turns it into a green hill, because that's what it thinks that I expect to see. Or something. I don't know how all that neurophysics works, but you know, the whole optics of it, right? But that whole Don Juan assemblage point thing, I'm sure is not a metaphor. So you can control that, but you can't control it directly, like looking through like a microscope with tweezers and you manipulate stuff around. No, you learn energy work, I think. Not sure. And so you just become in alignment. It's like a feel thing. You can feel it. How do you know? How unclenched do you feel right now? Right? That's how you know. I don't think I've ever been less clenched than I am right now, except for my sphincter. It's responsibly clenched. Always. I think it always will, as long as I have a human body. I just don't think I can let it go that much. It's just my predilection is to have a responsible sphincter. I'm not just crazy haywire with it. So I think I'll be responsibly clenched there, but everywhere else, I don't think I've ever been less clenched. Oh, shit. What was that? Did I just get bit by a bee or a mosquito? I'm like, what's that? That's a fly bit me. I'm like, what is that fucking noise? That's me overreacting. I was surprised. It stung me. I'll leave. Fine, that's what the nature's telling me to do. I started feeling this pinch on the, like right below my back of my knee. I'm like, oh, I know what that is. That's like a mosquito bite. That's a bee sting. And I think it was actually a fly bite, like a big horsefly. I am gonna walk longer on the trail. But it surprised me. Bit of an overreaction, I guess. I was in my thoughts, that's why. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been this unclenched. It's a pretty little bird right there. You know, not in a long time anyway. So my pre-retirement's all about trying to stay unclenched, whether I get to pass into early retirement, like I would love, or if I have to find a traditional 9-to-5 to pay some bills for a few months, or, you know, that could be a few years. Try to stay unclenched regardless. That's my new metaphor for being in my peace. Is I'm just unclenched. you know? My mouth's always been unclenched. So, like, it's time for the body to follow, except for the sphincter. You know. But yeah, I don't clench my teeth so much anymore. I don't clench, my heart doesn't get clenched up. I don't clench my fists ever, except for as like a hand exercise. Because even though I don't beat people up, you gotta be tough, like you could. So you gotta do hand exercises. So I'm not a people beater-upper or I don't beat up anything. But that doesn't mean I'm not prepared to. For sure I could. I could at least try. Because my hand exercises that I do to make my fists, into hammers, really. I could hammer you with my fists. Because I'm so used to clenching and unclenching them. But that's kind of like a sphincter thing. It's like a choice that I make. I'm not stressed about it. It's not a problem. All the other clenchings are problematic. I mean, unless they're not. You would know. For me, it's pretty much the hand exercise clenching and my sphincter clenching. Neither of them are problematic. Or if they are, that's a special circumstance that I would be aware of. Right? Sure. I'm at least that much in touch with my body. Everything else, though, like my heart, my jaw, my shoulders, I don't have very much clench. I'm a very unclenchful person at this stage of my Gen X years, which I brand that as success. Unintentional. I didn't even think in terms of clenching before today, really. Not as such, not in this metaphor, I never. So that's brand new. But like, the reason I'm able to exponderate on it is because it's so familiar, because I'm totally familiar with the experience upon which I'm exponderating, which is a clenching. It's just it's an energy of like tense. There's some low level anxiety at the least. At least there's that, if not a higher level, because there's like a stress about your future. Am I going to be able to make it? Whatever you're trying to do, especially if it's the vaguer it is, the more anxiouser it is. And I've always been a lot of vague ambitions, never very pointed and specific, which is always claimed to be part of my problems. Maybe that's a strength. Maybe your problem's becoming a strength. So yeah, it's definitely going to be a strength. I don't know. All I know is the peacefulness of the unclenching. I'm sold on it. It's sold. I've been sold, and it's working. Sorry, man, they're pretty big no-see-ums. They're definitely see-ums. Squirrels running around and whatever. That's fine. As long as they don't bite at me, which they're not rabbit squirrels in here. It's just these rabid no-see-um bugs. They're like they got rabies. I hope they don't. You can't get rabies from an insect, can you? Certainly not one that actually probably can't even bite you. Because its jaws, doesn't they say that spiders can barely bite you because their jaws are too small because your skin layer, your epidermal thickness is too thick for their jaw to even get around for most spiders? I like that. Bugs that can't bite you? Oh man, that's like swimming in the ocean and fish can't bite you. There's one of them green bugs. Oh. The sun just came out and it showed me the green bug. I don't know how it survives. It's like, it's the type of iridescent green that's like, yo, I'm here. Yo, right? Like, I'm over here. Like, there he is right there. I'm like 20 feet from this flying bug and I can see it because it's green wings. I don't know how it survives. It tastes horrible. All the other bugs who eat it hate it. They never want to eat the green bug. Green bug's the king of the forest. You know how like there's like the jockey dude who can beat everybody up? But then there's also like the one other dude who's definitely can't beat anybody up, but he's still popular. Like the court jester for the jock. That's what that green bug is. He's not the strongest bug in the land here, but no one's going to touch him. Not because he has protection from the strongest bug in the land. He does ally himself with the strongest, partly because he's the only one he has anything in common with, because like he's got no predators. And the biggest bug doesn't. It's like, on top of the mountain, you got two people on top of the mountain, you either push the other guy off, or you become friends and co-run the mountain. This is Mother Nature we're talking about. Insects aren't stupid. They don't have egos. The egos they have are the ones I'm giving them. but they don't really have them. Oops. So yeah, when you're the green bug, which has no predators because you taste like shit, and you're the biggest bug, which you have no predators because like you're badass, you hang out together kind of. But like the badass bug, the jock bugs, they're usually not very self-aware. Why? Not because they're dumb, because they don't have so much challenges. So they just get to coast through. They have the easiest lives. No one picks on them. They don't have to learn the lessons that the rest of us do. The green bug had to in the beginning, but then he got bit a couple times. Every green bug does. And then it's like, yeah, he tastes like shit. Yeah. He survives, and then no one ever bothers him again. He learns, and then he is immune to predation, to predators, predatoriness. He's immune to it, so he gets a bit of an ego. I mean, the one that I give him a bit of an ego, and he has a personality, and so he, but it's not in a bad way. It's nature, remember? So it's always all good. It helps him develop a sense of humor, and he becomes the jester for the super jock bug. I don't know what that would be, a tarantula? I don't know, like a big one that you don't ever want to really encounter. I don't want to. That's the only explanation I can give for why this green bug can survive as a species despite its shouting out its presence to the entire region every time it comes out to play. It plays all day like a bug does, so like it's constant iridescent green wings. It could be landed on a green bush and you could still see it. It doesn't look like that green, and a lot of times it lands on this pavement and there ain't nothing coming after it because he's fearless, because it knows no one is going to come after it. Not because he's obnoxious, he just tastes bad. That doesn't mean it's not an aspersion on his character, just his flavor. Right? Not everything that tastes bad is bad. It just tastes bad. But yeah, so that's the difference. And so the jock, he's whatever, he's easygoing. And that's just what's happening. But that jester, he had to earn it. But he did earn it. And now he's got the freedom of self-confidence to just fly around and be funny. That's what I'm saying. We could all do that. We don't have to be funny, but we can be ourselves. The more you unclench yourself, the more you become yourself. The personality one, the one that still delights in things. The one that doesn't really have an agenda with anything or anybody. I'm coming up on a dude with a dog. So I'm going to keep talking, but this video is so long. Maybe I'm going to stop it for a while and enjoy the sounds, because it's breezier now than it was. I'm not as sunburned, afraid as I was. So yeah, I'm going to keep talking past this dude, but then I'll stop and just do a one round around the block and come back, because I love it up here. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I'm trying to say. Hi. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Just you unclench yourself. You find yourself. Really, you find yourself. It's not like connect the dots kind of A to B. It's more like a spiral. It happens, and then it keeps kind of happening again and again. Right? Life's more of a spiral. You come around and around to the same types of things over and over. That's the way the brain does it for you. Well, you can start to change the way you interact with that spiral. And you can gauge your progress by the next time you interact with that thing that now you're one more spiral around. And, sorry, that was a hill. And there's seams coming after me. You gotta whack it. You gotta whack a seam. You gotta make contact, otherwise it just keeps having fun with you. Anyhow, yeah, you spiral around, and you notice that this time around, things are way less tense. You're way more unclenched. It's way more peaceful around here, right? Your mind is quieter. You don't have drama in your life anymore. I mean, there's like no drama ever, really. But even your thoughts, you still have, depending on how far, many spirals you've done with this practice. But mostly just being yourself. Sorry. I don't know how these CMs can fly so fast, so durational, like for so long, and with such amazing dexterity. Right, he flies in front of your face backwards, going side to side, back to forth, up and down a little bit. All just to annoy the shit out of me. I don't have the equanimity with that yet. What is up with that little guy? And then if you don't hit him, he just thinks it's a game, and he just dodges your hand. If you hit him like with your fingernails and just pap, then he's like, all right, okay, all right, I'm out. He doesn't want to get hit. Punch him in the face, his little bully, and you back down, but you got to make contact. That's why I clench my fence. Mostly I'm fighting bugs with these hammers, usually open-handed. But yeah, that's what it is to be up in humid North Jersey in the summertime. You got to deal with the CMs. I don't know why they call them no CMs. You can totally see them. You might not be able to hit them, but I tell you, you want to hit them. Both you should want to hit them, but like you feel like you want to hit it, that's for sure. But also that's how you get rid of it. So you do want to hit it. It won't kill it. So, I don't know. I don't know how you would kill it. You can't hit it that hard. But you phase it. It gets phased and it's like, all right, I'm done. Yep, okay. I didn't know you didn't want to, mess around with me. It's like, look, little fly, I never want to mess around with you. How about that? Is that all I had to say to the universe? Is look, I respect all of nature, but I don't need a no CM who's a CM messing with me. Anyhow, yeah. So you come around and around the spiral of your own clenching. That's really what it is. You don't even do anything so much, I think. It's just you just find that things that you used to do are no longer being done. So it seems like you stopped doing something, but that thing just stopped doing you. Really. It doesn't feel like effort. And the best times it feels that these three maples are glorious. Look at that on this hill. Like you just find if you look that you just don't do certain things that used to cause you stress anymore. I just don't even notice them. That's how unconscious they were. The fact that I didn't even notice that I stopped doing it. I didn't even try to stop doing it. A lot of it, some stuff I have done, but it's cool. The lamppost is a big wooden 4x4. Or it looks kind of like that. It's actually a bunch of, it's like 9 3/4 by 3/4 made into a 4x4. Except for the 9th one in the middle. That's the cable for the electricity, I think. I don't know. Anyway, it's amazing I'm able to talk up this hill at all. Apologize if I'm spitting like a madman. Got the cottonous mouth of a madman. That's for sure. I'm getting dry. Anyway. Yeah. The unclenchingness. Yeah, you just find it. You just don't clench. You have to do a clenching. That's the secret here. That's how come you can get away with doing nothing and it still works. Why? Because you don't fix yourself. You misfix yourself. And the way you unmisfix yourself is just by being yourself. And it unmisfixes itself by itself. It unmisfixes. Like it unwinds. Right? Like you've been trying to fix your life. You've been misfixing your whole life. Every effort to fix anything is a misfixation. So you gotta unfixate that. You don't do that. You don't fix misfixing. You just stop fixing, which is to say you stop misfixing. Once you stop, it goes away. All this crazy suffering, it takes effort to sustain. It's not a stagnant world. It's the one thing the world never is. It's stagnant. So if you feel stagnant, that's a you problem. And that's, of course, that's great. That's great that you feel stagnant. Because when you feel stagnant, it's not very comfortable. And you don't stay stagnated for very long. Most people, myself included, not to make any kind of course myself included is what I'm trying to say, just try to find something to distract their discomfort with. They don't use the opportunity to awaken more and more to their presence and start, letting the unfixing unravel, or letting the misfixing unravel, letting the unmisfixing happen. But at some point, you suffer long enough, all your other distractibility tactics fail consistently enough to provide you with the peace and happiness you're looking for. You're like, I'm about fed up. And what you really want in your heart is an unraveling of the misfixing or an unmisfixing event. And so that's the trigger, an initiation that happens. You can't do nothing about it. And you find that because you just don't care anymore. You care about peace. And you stop. You start to realize what's threatening my peace. And you start to look at what takes you out of your peace, and you find there's just no good reason to be taken out of your peace with that nonsense. And that just happens without you even knowing it. Sometimes it's just the first time. Other times you got to spiral around. It's like a spiral with a bunch of little spirals. That's kind of life. Because sometimes things are quicker spirals, but life itself, all kinds of nested patterns, like the Russian dolls of truth I made a video about. Those Russian dolls that are nested dolls, it's like there's nested spirals in life. Sometimes it's a quick spiral and you just only do it once or twice, and you don't even know that you got rid of that bad habit of misfixing yourself. And you stop misfixing. And when you stop misfixing, that misfixation, you can't, it's like putting I don't know, what's a good analogy? Something that doesn't fit. It doesn't stay fit. You got to hold it there. You got to keep having these misfixation thoughts in order to keep the misfixing, because you're normally already fixed. You don't need to fix nothing. You can't fix it. The only thing you can do is misfix. And when you stop misfixing, like those misfixes, they lose their energy and their sustainability. You got to constantly keep them misfixed. So that's why you can just do nothing and just walk the neighborhood and be in your peace. And the unmisfixing just happens. Or you can push it along maybe by talking about it or thinking about it, or maybe that's slowing it down. Probably it is, but I can't help it. For me, this is how I unmisfix with awareness, is I bring my awareness to it by talking about it, which I love to talk about stuff. Of course, otherwise why would I make a video? And talk up these hills, no less. Anyhow. At least I would have stopped and not talked, but I had to talk. Even though I couldn't breathe, I had to talk. And I did. And you saw it. That was what we just did. Yeah, pretty good. I'm getting better at this. The hill part of it. The talking, I don't know. Probably not making much progress. It's probably, up and down. It's good and bad. It's hopefully the overall curve is upwards, but I don't really live in hopes and, expectations in life anymore, really. They don't serve me, and I'm not trying to get rid of them. I barely think about them, and I do try to not indulge them if they do come up as thoughts. I don't know if that's a mistake, but I'm willing to make some mistakes. I'm not saying I'm perfect here, but when my priority is my peace or my unclenchedness, not even in a goal to get there, no, to stay there. And not even to make it better, just to stay with what I know, even not as a protection, security, stay with what you know, but I don't have to do anything is what I'm saying. There's no pressure to make it better, to be a better meditator or a better happier. Is he a happy or a sad? He's a happy. Can he be a better happy? Can you be a better happy? I don't think so. I think that's If you think you could be a better happy, then you're not really, that's not the right happy we're talking about. You can't improve happiness, right? And then you just gotta change happiness, that word there, to life. You can't improve life. You can't improve your life. There is no your life anyway. There's just this experience that's happening. What could you do about it? I'll make a video about it, but like, what could you do? You could shut up and just enjoy it. You could talk over it like I do. You could talk through it, which is what I really do. This is part of my experience, is the talking through it all. I don't only talk through my experience. Yeah, it's another one of my favorite spots. Yeah, so you just stay unclenched. By remaining unclenched, and you become gradually more and more aware of things like unclenchingness, stresslessness, like mostly by being yourself in your moment, not by focusing on the qualities of your moment. Most of the time you just surf in your moment. But, I still have thoughts a lot. So, and a fair amount of those thoughts are still about my moments that I'm having. But the quality of those thoughts is changing. They're much more compassionate quality to those thoughts. Commentary about my experience and whatnot. They're much more funner. They're more open. They're better thoughts. And also I'm more detached from my thoughts than ever before. Not like a psychotic. I mean, probably like a psychotic. I hope not. But I mean, like, I still get pretty attached, I guess. But like, my attachment, look, I grab on tight, still, like usual, to my thoughts with my claw. But the tether is weaker than it was. So but I'm slowly starting to also not grab on so tight with that claw. But the tether for sure, like the nature of my attachment is just weaker overall. I still attach pretty much regularly to a lot of my thoughts, but it's not as fraught and dramatic of an attachment. But like sometimes though, I'm also not even that attached. Like the claw's not very strong on there. And it's like I don't even have to finish a thought sometimes. I just catch myself in the middle of a thought that seems relevant, because they always seem relevant. That's why you're having them. They always seem like they're important. When you know, even if you don't feel it in the moment, when you know that they're not important, you just stop it. Just stop, whatever, like that. And don't even finish it. See what happens. It's crazy. It's like a joke on your thoughts. It's like you don't ever, let alone always, have to take very many thoughts to their logical conclusion. You don't have to continue thinking a thought. Whenever you become aware of yourself thinking a thought, you can just stop thinking. Or let the thought go without, stop paying attention to the thought and pay attention to the awareness that what caught your thought. I don't know. It's funny though when you do it. So that's how you weaken, I feel like, for me maybe, how I weaken my attachment claw. So my grip is weaker to my thoughts, to attaching to my thoughts. So I can let them go easier. Plus the tether, the nature of the attachment is not so distortive that I don't even know what's going on. Like, where am I? Oh shit, I've been lost in my head for 10 minutes. Nah, I'm mostly still hear the birds and see the little Buddha. See that little Buddha? He's a little concrete Buddha. It's like a Buddha baby. But he's just a little person. He's a little Buddha. He's a concrete though. He's solid as concrete. And his peace. Yeah, so anyway, that whole perspective, that's what I'm trying to embody. And this is one of the, I'm not going to say last lessons, because, first of all, I have no idea. But maybe a lingering lesson that I feel like wish was learned already, is just, I got to work on this. I've been working on this abundance energy and this confident, faithful, things are going to work out for me. I don't know how yet. I got a guy for that, I guess. The universe has got a guy for me for that. The universe are usually, once you get in full alignment, the universe gives you 3 guys, I think, right? gives you a finance guy. It gives you like a spirit guy maybe. And it gives you like, I don't know what else. But like, every time you want to be like so confident and cool in your life, you'd be like, somebody asks you a tough question, you're like, oh, I got a guy for that. It's like how your finances, I don't worry about my finances, I got a guy for that. Right? And that's the way it is. Because why not? I don't worry about my money. It just seems to never run out. I have as much as ever I need. I don't have a ton of extra, maybe, but whatever I need. And I don't just live in a cardboard box outside my dad's backyard. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm working on trying to be in alignment with the abundance, that kind of a thing. You know. But I tell you, first of all, this day turned out to be nicer than I expected. It's breezier. I'm not having an agenda with the weather, but I love a breeze. I love the sun, and I love a breeze when the sun's out. At least in the summer and the springtime. Whenever it's warm. Yeah, it's nicer. I'm having a nicer time than I expected, which happens a lot. I mean, I don't have expectations, but like sometimes I just find myself, like I wake up to my experience kind of with from like a different level maybe, of just like, my brain stops, my thoughts stop. And I don't have anything other than the raw experience of my moment happening. Those are the best times. And they happen more and more, especially when I'm out here. But like, yeah, I'm working on integrating this. I do get it a lot when I'm at home, inside, alone, with Peanut at night. My cat Peanut. Yeah. Or just sit. I'm not doing nothing. I'm not reading or watching. Somebody's climbing up. She's catching up to me. But, yeah. So it's nice and peaceful most of the time now. And I don't know what's coming. But I'm going to try to stay unclenched with it. And hopefully that's not a problem. I don't expect it will be. Alright. Turn around, going back. I think I'm gonna stop. Alright.